Kiedy będzie odcinek Skibidi Toilet? Mobi podobno wie, kiedy to będzie, więc obejrzymy sobie dzisiaj. Zapraszam serdecznie, zostawcie lajka i subskrybujcie kanał. Okej, czyli on ma jakieś przecieki w takim razie.
But in addition, I will also show you the alternate endings of 71 and 72 episodes. This is somewhat exclusive.
Okej, alternatywne endingi. No dobra, ale nas bardziej interesuje, kiedy będzie odcinek. Ja obstawiam, że to będzie jutro.
And also put a like and subscribe to the channel. And do not forget that it is in my Discord server appear the
Dobra,
new,
przejdź
but
do
it deserves
rzeczy.
your attention. Because these events could happen in episode 71.
A, to są te fanowskie wersje, co oglądaliśmy, nie?
One of the Skibidi missilers attacks Titan's flying TV man and then Titan also picks it up and puts it in his shoulder. But then there are different events from the original. After all, in this place comes the original Titan G
Patrzcie,
toilet with his
G-meni.
clones and a small army.
Kurka, ile G-menów, to
which
jest
begin to
dopiero.
actively attack the Titans. Reflected missiles fall to the ground, but this time the POV operator survived, and on his behalf we see how the Titans engage in battle with the toilets. The
No,
Titan
ta
TV
bitwa
man is
mega kozacka, nie wiem, czy to widzieliście, ale miodzio to była ta walka.
again attacked by the G-toilet clone, but he absorbs the laser's energy and one of the TVs disconnects and attacks the clone. The other clone seizes the moment and attacks the Titan, but TV man aggressively engages. Next, the cameraman turns around and we see Titan Speaker Man destroy his opponent. He literally drives him into a mountain. Next we see Titan Cameraman destroy.
No dobra, ale powiedz mi,
And the Titan G toilet starts to
bo
attack.
to znowu jest fanowska wersja, czyli on ogląda fanowskie wersje, ale my chcemy wiedzieć, kiedy odcinek
the
wyjdzie,
operator who saw everything.
prawda?
So now it's time to discuss what we can see next. And I would like to start by saying that the new episode, or rather the second part, should be released next week, because originally Mr. Boom was
W przyszłym tygodniu dopiero? No co wy? Ja obstawiam, że to będzie jutro, sobota.
preparing a
Czemu
full
w przyszłym
episode, but
tygodniu?
shortly before its release Mr. Boom announced that the episode will be divided into two parts because of its complexity. Of course, he could have posted the full 72 episode at once.
A, on mówi, że cały odcinek miał być w przyszłym
He had to
tygodniu.
wait a
O.
few more days for that. So Dafig decided that the best solution would be to split the episode into two parts. And since he was initially preparing a full episode at once, it will probably take less time to create the second part. So I think that the second part will be released next week closer to the weekend. But that's just my theory. And
Co? Nie, słuchajcie, zdecydowanie się nie zgadzam. Mamy już pierwszy przeciek, więc moim zdaniem dostaniemy te odcinki już jutro. Już jutro albo najpóźniej w niedzielę będziemy mieli odcinek.
now let's talk about what happens to the scientist cameraman in the second part. As we remembered during the battle, the scientist lost his mechanical suit. But I think that during the time he was away he made himself several of these mechanical suits, and I think that in the second part of the 72nd episode his new suit will fly to the
No,
scientist.
dostał nowego
It will
mecha,
be
nie?
similar to how in episode 69 the Titans had their enhancements flown to them. The Titan cameraman got his new cannons with wings and the Titan speaker man got his new blasters. So I think the same thing will happen with the scientist, only his suit will be accompanied by either a reinforcement squad or the same.
No, pewnie będzie tak, że on dostanie też swojego mecha znowu z powrotem. Tylko będzie lepszy, może z lepszymi bajerami, nie? Albo tego starego dostanie.
Also, if we're talking about old characters, I'll remind you that Simp Cameraman is set to return to the series in the near future.
No, Boom to potwierdził, nie?
Dafig said that
Że zakochany ma wrócić.
Mr. Boom has serious plans for Simp Cameraman, and I also think that this character may be in one of the containers that carried the toilets. What if the scientist's unfinished project is a maximized version of Simp Cameraman? Because what if this character has really embraced the dark side? And I have a
O kurde, o tym nie pomyślałem. Może Ninja rzeczywiście jest tym projektem, nie?
hunch that the improved Simp Cameraman will be similar to
I będzie to Ninja na Skibidi Toilet, bo tu było też takie trochę zapowiedź, nie?
Nemesis from the Resident Evil game. I've told this theory before in my videos, but due to the fact that in the first part of episode 72 there is a character that looks a lot like Krauser from Resident Evil, I thought it would be a good time to remind you of my crazy Simp Cameraman theory. But why is this scientist's project considered unfinished? I think the reason is that Simp Cameraman has not been controlled yet, and when he gets out he will destroy everything he sees on his way. First he will attack Astro Toilet and then G Toilet and then he will escape. I know this theory may be very
Ale to chyba on nie jest aż na tyle. Taka mała postać byłaby tak mega silna, wątpię. No.
crazy, but that's Mr. Boom's style, isn't it? He likes to surprise us with unexpected twists and turns, and why not create a simp monster? write in the comments what you think about this theory, and also write your theories in the comments.
No
Because
nie
in the
wiem,
next
czy potwór
video,
tu
I will read your theories
jakby
from the
potwór
comments, and
pasuje.
also write theories in my Discord server. Well, we just talked about the return of Simp cameraman and touched a little bit on the Astro toilet and G toilet battle. So now I suggest you dive deeper into that. Mr. Boom did not just add subtitles to this episode. With this action he not only made life easier for YouTubers who analyze his episodes, but he also wanted us to pay attention to it. Let me remind you that Astro toilet called Titan a cometer, and in my analysis I said that I was very surprised. But then I thought that Titan G toilet could really be Astro toilet's commander. You just
No też mi się wydaje, że mógł być dowódcą Astro Toilet. Zresztą ja o tym już wielokrotnie mówiłem, że on już wcześniej latał bez użycia jetpacków.
think back to the first episodes with him. He was always bigger and stronger than the regular toilets, and he also had the ability of laser vision, which the other Skibidi toilets
właśnie,
didn't have.
te
And you just
lasery.
remember how in the extra scene for season 23 Dafa showed us how one of the Astro toilets also has that ability. Also, do you remember how the first episodes had flying toilets without jetpacks? What if it's an early form of Astro toilet and then they evolved and became like the ones we see now? In short, I've
No,
come to
być
the
może to
conclusion
był pierwszy protoplasta Astro Toilet, nie?
that the G Toilet Titan was originally an Astro Toilet, and the betrayal that Astro Toilet is talking about is that G Toilet went over to the side of regular toilets rather than staying with Astro Toilet. And what if at the moment when G Toilet transformed at the end of part 1 of episode 72, he transformed into Astro Toilet form and their battle will take place at ultra fast speeds? But that's just my theory, and it would seem that this is the end of the video. But if you look
Ej, to może być ciekawe, o tym nie pomyślałem, że rzeczywiście w tej walce możemy zobaczyć jakieś zdolności G-Mana jako Astro Toalety. To by było
playback
ciekawe.
track on YouTube, you will realize that this is not the case and all true. I want to show you one very interesting theory from my subscriber who wrote it to me under the video analyzing the first part of the 72 episode. The
No,
theory
ciekawe.
goes like this. You know the penalty for treason, Commander. No one escapes justice. Commander. Meaning that man, ever since the beginning, was following orders. Treason. Man has done something that caused his superiors, Astro toilets, to intervene in the conflict. Justice. Punishment for man's actions. Even to the Skibidi's eyes, he did something terribly wrong. So here is my theory.
Ciekawe,
Man
co
was sent
zrobił,
on
nie?
Earth to invade, with his soldiers. As commander, he follows orders to strategically conquer land. Later, scientist was tasked by Astro, through the contract paper in the bunker, to start research on new technology and or reverse some. Upon seeing that they could become stronger than any wild dreams they could have, power went over his head. Fast forward, probably after the loss of Parasite Speaker Titan, man got sentenced to death for his failure and or his insubordination.
A, czyli za to, że stracił zainfekowanego tytana głośnika. Czy to by było za zdradę, czy to by była aż taka zdrada? No to jest jakaś porażka, a nie zdrada. Tu chyba o coś innego, myślę, chodzi.